welcome. It is another vlog from Sakleshpur, this paradise. And it's day 2 of us here. And welcome to another episode of Abeer and Animals. And so, if you have not watched our Sakleshpur day 1 vlog, please watch it. It is epic. So we're here for a trek, and of course, my travel companion Mishka Dugar is here. And so we are going to go on a trek, and let's see if we can find that majestic hornbill. Okay, on we go. Stay tuned. These ants are carrying eggs of the queen back to their colony. They had probably got them out for some reason and were now taking them back into the chamber desired for the eggs given by the queen. Huge clusters of tadpoles were there in this agricultural pond as we began our walk through paddy fields. These egrets were sitting on a tree for an extremely long time. Continuously sitting and not moving. This one was flying through the trees and they were attracted to the cattle. The walk through the paddy was pretty testing. So we have trekked past paddy fields and those were pretty muddy, I must say. Oof, that is pretty tiring. Slushy, muddy, but there were birds, lots of birds. So that was a bit tiring. We had to balance over logs, we had to jump over stuff. Anyways, but now here we are entering the Western Ghats, the forests of the Western Ghats. Let's see if we find anything. Got it. So this is a millipede. Again, this guy has 1,000 eggs, and that is why it is called a millipede.
Could you see the way the colors are shading? It actually reminds me a lot of a caramel topping, you know? That makes me hungry.
And it has more legs than a centipede, and these kinds are so beautiful. You find these creatures only in the mountains. There are different ones for in the urban areas. Look how beautiful it is. Look at the banding, the colors, and it is just curious right now. It's curled up as a defensive pose.
A few of these species also happen to have a sting right at the end of their body. Their sting does not look very painful, but trust me, it can hurt.
So, yeah, beautiful creature, brilliant find. Now, we'll put him back into the wild. Go on, buddy. And he will go.
He will uncurl.
The millipede slowly walked off into the jungle. This find is truly an emblem of the rainforest. It is moving rather slow, but that lets you admire it even more. You can see the amount of legs it has. Honestly, if you bend down and look at its legs moving, they look a lot faster than they actually are. The banding looks pretty zebra-like, and they are pretty camouflaged in their environment. There was a big anthill here. We have exited the forest, and now we are back to the paddy fields to make our way back to Kudumane Resort. Many ants were walking over this log, using it as a walkway to their colony. There was a huge cluster of tadpoles which honestly looked like a bunch of plants, but they were tadpoles nonetheless. A collared kingfisher sat on a pipe eating a tadpole. After I came back, I decided to do some birding. The first bird I found was a yellow-browed bulbul. Then lapwings. There were many lapwings. They were pretty abundant and were flying around against the grey sky. Egrets were passing by here. going to the agricultural pond, a bulbul was sitting on a tree. Bulbuls were extremely abundant, especially in the trees in front of our rooms. That is pretty lucky. This is the tree that all the egrets were sitting on, and this is from afar. You can see the action that is there on it. The yellow-browed bulbul and a vernal hanging parrot were moving around here on this tree. More bulbuls were here as well, flying around and sitting for a little bit. Here was a big bumblebee who does not have a sting and was busy pollinating the flower. This is a white-bellied tree pie. It is an endemic bird to the Western Ghats and was probably the best find of the entire trip. And Minty the cat is back. She seems to have caught a butterfly here at the lunch area and was playing around with it, trying to catch it and eat it. The butterfly, however, was putting on a pretty good fight and it was a pretty comedic struggle to see. This is a spider web, and a spider is living in it. Seems like it has already caught an ant for breakfast. And here is one of the largest beetles ever, which was simply strolling around on the wooden floor of the dining hall. Nobody had any idea what this beetle was, but it was pretty huge and creepy looking. It was walking around, probably looking for food. They can give a good pinch by the looks of it. Here are purple-rumped sunbirds. This is the only time I saw them during my stay, and they were just foraging around on a few leaves. A cattle raider and his cattle are moving through. Of course, that attracts egrets. They are called cattle egrets for a reason. These egrets, now many egrets have surrounded the cattle. It is like they are saying, this cattle is mine and this one is mine. And a cute calf also walks through here as the egrets fly off and respectfully take their positions on the cows they desire.
Hello, and so now we finished our morning trek. It was a pretty cool experience, I must say. And so now we're going for another trek, short one, which is not the same way, not through the paddy fields. But let's see, can we accomplish Mission Hornbill in this one?
We might not. You never know. This one's an evening trek, so there's actually more chance of there being birds around here.
Let's hope we find something.
One of the only things we found was this frog. He just leapt into the bush and stayed absolutely still and did not move. It was over here you can see just how camouflaged he looks. This little fella is a leech who is wriggling in a shoe.
And this is why when walking in the rainforest, you should always wear gum boots
Boots are protective shoes. That is a leech that sucks blood. It is painful, trust me.
Oh, yeah.
We found this guy walking in the rainforest. He was in Mishka's shoe.
Yeah, he was. He was so in my shoe.
Oh, and he's down. So, yeah, always be careful when walking in the rainforest, people. Guys, my advice to you is whenever it's monsoon and you live near a forest, please put Dettol spray and wear protective boots or thick shoes that will prevent the leeches from causing any harm. There were actually 4 to 5 beetles in the dining area just sitting. Little did they know, however, that was the worst place for a beetle to be at the time. Because, well, Minty the cat was there. And Minty the cat seems to have a taste for beetles. All the 4 or 5 that were parked there were getting devoured. You could actually hear it go crunch as they did get eaten. Remember, this cat is still a descendant of the tiger. Here it goes for another one, and it's going crunch. And that tiger attitude is coming in here. It is, don't forget, a descendant of the tiger. Just before going to bed, this huge insect came. It was just parked there and was looking extremely creepy. So that's the end of today. We had a good day, and that's the end to another episode of Abeer and Animals. We will be back tomorrow for our last day in Sakleshpur here, and we are beginning the day with a forest walk as a last attempt to see hornbills. So, see you then.